Awesome, awesome. What's up, YouTube fam? Just checking to see if everything's coming up. Nice. What's up, YouTube fam? It's Archangel's Journey. I'm Shakira. So, I normally just record and post, but I'm lazy. It's a beautiful day, and I just want to do some back testing. Also, just so you know, I got some kitties. You probably saw it in my last video, and they are beautiful baby girls. And when they deign to come over here and harass me, I will share that with you guys. In the meantime, um, I need to focus up a bit. And, it's hilarious because I absolutely felt over the moon for that, like, literal 2 seconds that I was in profit, like 750 for the year. It was amazing. And now I'm down 1,300, I'm pretty sure, at this point. But that's all right. And that's just par for the course. I'm only 1 year and this is my 7th month, 1 year and 7 months into live trading. And it's been kind of hard. Part of my problem right now is the fact that I have not been able to take the trades that I want to take. Like I wait for a specific thing, I see it, and then the market just runs and I don't get an opportunity to get it. So figured I'd take some time and do a little back testing and call it a day. Yeah. Wait, let me see. Kitty's on the windowsill. All right, the one that's like lifting up right now, that's Sasha, and the one that's laying down, that's Maddie. They are the sweetest little babies you will ever meet. Like the sweetest kitties ever. Wow, that's really dark. Let's see, get some light in here. I guess it doesn't matter. You don't need to see me anyway, right? All right, so let's get tiny or tinier. All right, awesome. So my window to look at the charts is over here, so I'll be looking up this way. My OBS is in the middle, and I'm looking at the YouTube live space over here. I'm sure nobody's on here anyway at the moment because I didn't advertise or anything. I just didn't want to have to like do all the work to get it perfect. Anyway, let's get to the important piece. I'm going to use my NQ clean to do the back testing, and I'll drop it to the 1 minute. Let's go to the daily. And part of my problem has been the fact that I should have switched to ES. ES has been moving a lot more cleaner than NQ this entire time. And the kitties are like roaming about and jumping on everything, as kitties do. It's funny, these two, like when they wake up in the morning and like I go grab them, they literally, they're like the sweetest, lots of love. Maddie is like more like she wants to be touched and held, and Sasha's like, I'll come to you when I want it. She's more likely to come over to like give me kisses and nibble on my fingers, and Maddie will come over and flop and be like super adorable. Anyway, I'm getting distracted. I don't know. I think I have like kitty brain. Honestly, I really do. I have kitty brain. All right, let's get started. So let's first talk about what my method for entry is usually, right? So let's do a little, and this is a reminder for myself too. So let's do a little drawing, right? Let's do a little drawing. Let's come over here and let's get, this path. So what I'm looking for is movement, down, movement, sweep, return, continuation down. That's clean, right? And then in the opposite vein, we've got, let me get it again. We've got movement, break, shift up, shift back down, movement, and so on, right? That's clean. The market's not going to give you that most of the time, right? Yeah, it's not going to give you that. So let's move this down. So for So for my situation, I need some sort of significant high or low to be broken and then a shift to occur, right? Some sort of shift. The other thing is the continuation, which is why I've drawn it like this, where I continue, and you come back up, grab it here or somewhere in the middle here if there's a fair value gap. Something that's I've missed is there's moments where instead of going to the order block, they stay like at the midpoint of the fair value gap. I've been trying to catch them, but I don't know. It's like my brain has hit some weird little block. I don't know. It's odd. Anyway, so this is what I'm looking for, but I don't know if you guys have noticed, you know, the markets haven't been as clean, at least not on NQ. NQ has been a bit of a pain, right? Like NQ has been a bit of a pain. But the markets have, wait, what was it? The other day I was in a beautiful long, man, like not last week. Yeah, I was in a beautiful long last week. And ES was just like pumping, 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 pumping. And she was like, I don't want to move. I was like, what? And the setup was beautiful. And eventually NQ, went up there, but the correlations between the markets, the Dow, ES, and Q just haven't been as clean. And it's hard, at least for the way I trade, because I don't know how to scalp. We're also at all-time highs. Also, scalping doesn't work for me because I'm trading a live broker, I'm not trading a prop firm. I can't just, you know, take as many trades as I want and not worry about fees. I absolutely positively track all the fees, not like they'll ever let me forget it, but I track all the fees that I'm paying. And it's serious, right? So anyway, so this is basically what I'm looking for. One of two things. I'm looking for the market structure shift and confirmation that we're moving, and then a retracement back up, and then continuation in that direction. So whatever the trend is, try my best to follow it. But I don't know, something happened to me this week. I was like, we've been going up, 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 up. And I was like, let's go short, 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 short. I took two trades short. Of course, got my ass handed to me. And, took my two perfunctory losses, and that's it. Anyway, same thing for the long. I want to see a significant low broken, then a shift up, and then a return back down. And then, for the continuation, take it here, at the second leg. That's what I'm looking for. But in these markets, it's been really, really hard to get that sort of like set up and process. Really hard. Anyway, so, and this is great because I'm sitting around here like, sometimes I'm good about staying out of the chop, and other times I'm terrible at it. Seriously, terrible at it. Anyway, so let's get into the actual like back testing and maybe working on my entries as well. Trying to figure out better way to get into some of these trades and back test it and see what would have been better. All right, let's dip down into the 15-minute. Let's look at Friday. All right, let's look at Friday. Let's get that. So yeah, I really got hosed in this general vicinity. Trying to go long actually on Friday. I was like, I don't know what possessed me. I had these lows that I was expecting them to take. And then I was trying to go short. I was thinking about going short so they could take these lows out here, which they obviously did. 10, 15. Yeah. No, so I got chopped up in this general vicinity right here, trying to go long actually. And they just didn't want to move. Oh, okay, let's take a look at what I did do first and foremost, right? So waiting, waiting, waiting for all of this to get taken, right? So 10 o'clock came, they took all that out. And if I'm being completely honest, I'm not super unhappy with the setups that I took, at least not the first one, because it was more what I was looking for, right? But what I am unhappy with is the fact that I my ability in that moment to stay out of the chop, like, just didn't work out for me, because I was looking for a return after they took all of this. I was looking for a return back up. We have relatively equal highs up here. Obviously, it doesn't look like they ever came back up to it, no. But I was looking for the relatively equal highs up here to get taken. And what I should have done, if I'm being completely honest with you, because I got my second trade, my first trade, I took here, and obviously was trying to go long 2 times. Actually, I apologize. My first trade was here, and it was an instant stop out, right? As you can see right there. What was I thinking when I took that? I was thinking we already took the lows out. We've swept these highs. We've got a propulsion block here. I was hoping for it to become a propulsion block. It didn't. And then I got stopped out pretty quickly. And then I waited. We came back down again. And actually, no, I didn't wait. And then I had an order set here. And I canceled it for some reason. Canceled it because we didn't take any highs out. I was thinking we were going to continue up. Canceled it. And then, they ran up, looked pretty decent here. So I took that, and of course got stopped a second time. Now, sorry, let me move that over in case I was blocking that. So first trade was here yesterday, knocked out quickly. Second trade was here in the expectation that they would want to move back up. It looked okay for like 2 seconds, and then they just dropped down. It was mean. So what would have felt better to me for a trade? Like, all of this price action is pretty shit. I mean, if you run up to the higher time frame, after this drop here, before 10 o'clock, everything else after that is just chop. Leave it alone. Let it go. Don't even touch it. But for whatever reason, still relatively bullish. I wanted it to roll back up. Now, something that I haven't been able to do. Drop back down to the moment. Oh, by the way, this middle line right here is midnight opening price. I mean, midnight opening price, yeah. So don't be confused. Now, at 10 o'clock, knowing that there was, downside down here, should have taken the short that, and this happens to me a lot now. A lot. So we had this 10 o'clock news spike up, rude. It didn't take any highs out, didn't take any lows out, and we'd been chopping sideways. So, it could have gone anywhere. From my perspective, could have gone anywhere. But what I should have done, this is all confusing to me, but once it broke down to here, I wanted a trade right there. It never came back up. Now, what I'm starting to notice, and this is part of the reason why I miss trades sometimes, is if we have, well, one, this isn't the order block. This is, look at it. Higher, low, higher, that's the order block. So what I should have done is take a note. Let's move that over, sorry. So like I said, this is not the order block, which at the time when I was looking at it, made it seem like it was, but it's not. It's not the order block. Because the criteria for the order block for me is not correct. This is just a candle that was just hanging out. But if there was an order block in this entire piece of price action, it was this. Why? Because this candle is higher than it, and this candle is higher than it, and this one eclipsed both in the bottom. So that would have been the order block. So What I should have done or could have done in this scenario is set my entry, and I don't know if you guys see it. Zoom in. Things that I look for and I didn't take. Right here, 10:03. Right here. Should have put my order right there because even if they popped up, we're still above this fair value gap, not above this candle that forms a fair value gap, which would have been the better stop, place for a stop. But this is what I've chosen to work with. And then I could have ridden that down to here, and that would have been easy peasy lemon squeezy, right? Similar scenario. Now, these wouldn't have felt super great for order blocks for me, but the other option would have been that. I could have taken that and then could have worked it down to that area down there. Because, and let me drop the equal. Let's move that back over. Where'd it go? Let's note what I was looking for them to dig into this fair value gap right here and maybe even go even lower. You know, we've been running up so much. So like that fair value gap I had spec, I would have been happy to take that. Let's go back down to the 1 minute. I would have been happy if I'd taken this setup and then just taken it down to here. Fine. Perfectly fine with that. And then just trail my stop down, trail until it hit. Even better if I'd been more or less scared, I should say. I should have taken it here because we've shown an inability to go higher. And it's definitely something that in the moment I was not focused on. And it's something that when I'm trading, I need to pay attention to because it tells the story, right? 10 o'clock came, we shot up. What did we do? We only just kind of tapped into this order block right here. That's it. Tapped into that and then came back down and then we failed right after that. Like we literally failed down. Now we haven't taken any equal lows yet down below. So in my mind, I should be thinking, hey, there's liquidity to be taken down below. There's a fair value gap down there. Reach for that. But no, I was all, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. Blah, 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 boring. Anyway, so that would have been a nice return if I'd taken that. And then I could have, let's see, set my stop to 105, like, or even just gone for the midpoint. Midpoint's good, almost 1,000, because I wouldn't have liked the roll back up either. So just below the lowest midpoint of the fair value gap. So in this scenario, this was the only viable trade for me for the day. That would be. I think part of my problem was that they took these out and I was thinking they might want to roll back up and I didn't trust it. And honestly, who cares about trust? I'm here to make some money. So take the trade that makes sense and keep it moving. And we'd already shown weakness, right? So take the trade at the place that makes the most sense and keep it moving. If you get stopped out, you get stopped out, keep it moving. All right, so something to consider. So let's see if we see other scenarios like this that we could have played with. Let me clear that up. All right, let's go back up. And I'm gonna just do the replay so I have to keep scrolling in the deep backwards, right? Cool. All right, so let's roll to Thursday on the 15 minute. Now, yeah, Thursday really, really, yeah. So the continuation stuff like that is something I need to work on. Like my ability to to handle dealing with continuation trades, I need to figure out how to get in because I don't like YOLOing into trades. Like that drives me nuts. Okay, so we have some buy side liquidity right here on the 15. We also have, and I'd had this spec. We also had some equal highs right here as well. So let's go down to the 1 minute and see what we could have done better because I missed all of this, all of it. So I'm usually waiting until, 9:45. And when it took this hot, yes. So this really hurt my heart. Both kitties are just chilling. Anyway, so this is what really hurt my heart. So it took all this, didn't take that high out. I was literally waiting for this pullback, waiting for it, waiting. And I was like, cool. So we have a pullback. And what did they do? They came down. And honestly, like when I saw the move up in the first place, I wanted along right here. That pullback would have knocked me out, obviously. Now, if I'd also put, let's see, if I put it at the body, yeah, I would have still been knocked out. But anyway, so I have a thing like I don't know how far they're gonna pull back, right? So I on the 1 minute, the first opportunity for any sort of entry, and I think what was it like? I haven't looked at any ICT stuff for quite some time, but I think he was talking about like the V-shaped like setups where you have the V and he puts his entry like at the second candle, at the top of the second candle, like that, and his stop below the low. Like that's too much of a stop for me. 77. Whew. But guess what? If I could have created that, nice. I mean, that would have been a nice like what 900 almost or so, something like that. Whatever. I think the hard part for me here is that I think on the 30 seconds, where is it? Where is it? I think on the 30 seconds, whoops, there might have been an actual entry that I could have taken on the 30 seconds. And part of my problem is like so this is the 30 seconds. On the Charles Schwab side, there's like literally, let's see, let's put this back to 37 ticks, which is what I'm trading. That's what I'm willing to risk. It's about 0.5% of my balance or whatever. So I would have been okay taking this in the hopes that if they did come back down, they would just tap the top of that and go and not like blow through it. And I would have been tagged in. Because this is what I can't see on my broker is the 30 seconds. They stop at the 1 minute, which is like, that hurts my heart. Anyway, so with this shift, yeah, like I probably even would have taken it here, honestly, just because, or at the top of this, little order block. I wouldn't have been tapped in there. Then I would have tried that one. Yeah, because that would have been the juicy entry right there for me, right there on the 30 seconds. But on the 1 minute, I can't see it, which is really frustrating. So what that means is like because I have both windows open. So maybe I need to have like the 30 seconds sorted out and then just sort of hope make sure I grab the right, like once it forms and it goes up, while this candle is within the 30 seconds that this candle is forming, like figure out what this is and, put my entry there. Yeah. And yeah, because on the 1 minute, let's go back to the 1 minute. So on the 1 minute, yeah, there's like literally nothing for me to do there, which is because then once I saw this and then they've left all of that, I absolutely wanted an entry right there. And for that, I would have gone for that. in the hopes they'd want to run up, which they did. But remember what I said? Sometimes when I'm starting to notice it, like sometimes when there's multiple, one or two fair value gaps, they'll dip into the second one or the first of the two, but not come all the way back down. So I should have felt comfortable putting something here and then letting it run if I was going to use the 1 minute, because that's basically the time I'm going to be trying to trade is the 1 minute. And then I would just wait until it broke this high and then move my stop to here and then take my hands off the wheel and, hope. Other reason why I did see this trade and I did not take it because it was so close to the first of the internal liquidity. So again, I got to remember this was internal liquidity and they can take it, pull back a little bit and then run still. They can. And if I get stopped out, it would have been nothing because, they took it, my stop would have been here and I would have, gotten a nice, return on that. So one of two things, like this I need to work through. And oh, look at that. Like it also correlates with this 1 minute fair value gap too. So I also could have put my entry right there at the top of that. And then that would have encompassed that if they chose to came back down and tap the top of it and then run. Things to consider, man. Like things to consider, like correlating fair value gaps like this. I like them. I like the break in them. And I keep missing trades because they don't come back down to this spot down here. Like they don't. So that's what I should have done. For sure. That's what I should have done. Okay, what are the other options here? All right, so they'd already taken what I was expecting, and then they just consolidated the rest of the time. So it's these types of things that get me, like, like what I'm looking for. Like they swept here. I'm still bullish. They swept here, but then they start doing this, and then that starts to confuse me. Right? It starts to confuse me. Then they run up, and then I'm like, I don't know how far down they're gonna come back. And then they just keep running, 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 and take out an intermediate high, and then come back down. So like once I didn't take that, I was like, well, the one thing I've stopped using is like trying to figure out the fib on certain entries. So like something that I probably should pay attention to is what would be considered a discount for them to come back down to. And it looks like from this to that high, this is actually the 50% point. Something I also was considering at the time is if I should, once this candle formed and this one, and then it ran up, if I could do something like that. I wouldn't have been tagged in, obviously, but it was something I was considering. And then maybe hope for the best on the big boy. Once we get up here and they move away from here, move my stop here and just let the rest run, trail, lock in those profits. Yeah. Okay. So there are two things that happened that I should have been aware of. One, they did the sweep and didn't give me an entry because my other idea is something like this. You see where well, so let's pretend they took this low out right here, and then they did a shift right here, and then we had this candle and they ran up. Then I would have also considered that entry right there. And where did they stop? They stopped at, yeah, like once it hits over $1,000, I'm not giving that back. I'm putting my stop like right there. Like I would have put up my stop at like right there and been stopped out for that and been fine. I don't care. Oh, there's a high over here. I would have just reached for that. Look at that. Bam. Retraced. Beautiful. This happened at what, 8:30 in the morning? Yeah. But that's the kind of thing I wouldn't have taken because they didn't take the low out. Because then now in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, oh, well, they might just roll back down and take the low out. But honestly, once they did this and dropped, I think something like that might have been a good attempt. And I got to get comfortable with that because a lot of times they don't come back down to this. Because if they take that and then they take the whole of the fair value gap here, then that tells me they want to continue on down, you know, or at least play around in the area, loads of shenanigans. Regardless, that could have been something. And I do need to recognize when they're making these lows, something I'm trying to pay attention to, like when they drop into areas with like order blocks and fair value gaps and things. Um, I need to see if they're just like staying in that area, respecting it, and then taking the trade because it makes sense. Anyway, so this happens to me a lot right here. And I hope that they don't just take the high. Because once they take the high, like my interest in it is over because they've taken it. The other thing is if there's more above it, for me, they have to move above it now and start making new structure for me to try a continuation. And again, seeing this right here, came back down into here, they took it, they rolled above. We have one fair value gap, two, three. So I need to start recognizing this pattern because I could have also taken it here when it rolled above it. Something to let's look at that. Let's look at that. And then we could have gotten that. Could have gotten some of that, at least. Some of that. And that would have been okay. 600 or something like that. Not bad. So I'm starting to see little patterns and things that could potentially help with the entry. And one thing is down close candle, green candle up, down close candle, green candle up. And honestly, I think I saw this and didn't take it. That one, that would have been nice too. Even better. We took it, we didn't take that, we dropped. Because if I didn't trust it and we rolled back up, then I could have taken this. Yeah. But let's focus on this entry opportunity here. Let's see if we can find other examples of that. Let's clean this up and let's go do some more back testing. All right, so that was the morning. And do we have a similar scenario? So yeah, this was crap. The rest of the day. So let's dip over to let's back up a day so we don't have to. Let's drop down to the 15 minute. And what do we have in the morning? Because I think the morning is the better time for me personally to try and trade. So what I do in the mornings is I come in, I look at fair value gaps, and I mark out like where the liquidity is, right? Especially if there's like equal liquidity, equal lows or equal highs. So this one would have just been like a 50-minute low. So that would have just been sell side. And then for some, let's clone that. And then this got formed when? So this got formed at 9:30. So I would have put this here as some buy side. Let's change that over to buy side. And this was also a bit of a shit show, I think, too. So let's drop down into a 1 minute. So I'm trying not to All right, and see what we could have done. All right. Let's see if we have that entry. Let's work on that entry model. Okay, so something somewhat similar, but not quite the same. We took the sell side, and this is at 11:30. Let's see what happened. Oh, at 10 o'clock. So 9:30, we hemmed and hawed, hemmed and hawed. Then we dropped, we took it. This doesn't look promising at all. I wouldn't have taken that. 11:30 though. Let's see what because 11:30, ugh, it's ugly. My, my, okay, so for me, these are equal highs right here. So I would have been like, whoa, that's a lot. Huh. I've never actually taken a trade that netted that much. So, but that fair value gap and that equal high would have been a nice, attempt. Not to mention the fact that I would have locked in 105, like down here. So I would have been okay. Either way, I would have taken some money, some. And then once it started moving, wow. Then I would have put my stop here and then just, let it run, trail. And then it would have netted me like, wow, that's incredible. But the V shape with the down close candle does not look like it doesn't seem like a bad play. For it's got to be down close and a either green candle down, green candle. No, am I mixing that up? Yeah, that's the word I'm. Green candle in the middle. This guy, run, take that. Let's see if we can find some more instances of that playing. Like after it's taken some liquidity and we get that V shape, then I can try for an entry at the down close candle. Let's see if we have a similar potential scenario on the upside. Yeah, okay, so not quite. This is more of a reach down, maybe take it here, and then and we would have tried and they would just run away there. But it's not really a V, right? It's got to be some sort of for the V style entry. I need to grab my documentation. I need to set up a notes section, and I'm going to document these examples so I can. Let me add a tab in my notes. I'm just gonna say so entry notes, and let's start adding some examples. So V shape entry, and let's get a couple of screenshots to punctuate exactly what we're looking for. So what are the criteria? The criteria is liquidity's been taken. Criteria, liquidity taken must be in the shape of a V, and take entry at, for the lows, first down close candle. For the highs, first up close green candle. Okay, yeah, that's good. Man, this is going to be super helpful because I keep missing these types of trades all the time. And it's pretty pretty irritating, honestly. Like when we take some liquidity and then we just drop and run, I get so mad because, okay, I don't get so mad, but I am disappointed because I I can't see a way to get into that entry. And there is absolutely a way to get into it. I just need to figure it out. So this is one way. So let's continue troubleshooting, backtesting that scenario. Let's see. All right, so what do we have? This is crap the rest of the day. Okay. Oh, wait. So we have a high taken. It's not a V, so this is disqualified. So let me take a screenshot, and this actually, let me put a comment in here. So this one's not a V, but could qualify for a MSS entry. Because for this one, the entry would be high taken. We have a shift here. And so, what time is it? 3? Ugh, so annoying. Shift here, short. Oh, and look at that. It would have been good for me because I would have just, keep it simple. Go for there. I'm not trading at this time of day. Um, there's, and then I would have had to put my entry there just to make sure it's over the top. Why? Because big fair value gap. Let's move this out of the way. So this is a different type of entry, and I need to take these more often. I've been so hesitant and scared, like, oh, I need to, keep my money, but I've literally put aside a certain amount of money to do this. So why not just freaking do it? Right? Seriously, get over it. You are here to make money. Hmm? You're here. Sorry, my window blanked out for a second. I'm here to make money, right? We all are. If we're doing trading, we're here to make money. And part of making money is losing money, which I'm very well aware of. I'm so used to losing, it sometimes doesn't even make me feel like crying anymore. Although, sometimes it does. Anyway, so this is a different style of entry. Not a V, but could qualify for the market structure shift. So we have a shift here. They made a low. Make sure I feel like there's like a lag. Huh. Hold on. My stream bit rate seems to be the stream's bit rate. Oh yeah, it's a mad lag. How do I update the bit rate? I don't even know. Stream latency is low. Stream health, there's a warning. Stream status is good. Anyway, whatever. It'll all get there, I suppose, in the end. Anyway, so we had that high taken, bam, and we failed to make a higher high at this point. We shifted spectacularly. And then, like this at the body, I found that when they have long wicks, it's good to take it at the body and not the wick. It's weird. But yeah. Anyway, so then this would have been a good area for me because my stop would cover the highs, which is great. And then, because I'm not expecting the important thing is for me to cover the candle that made the fair value gap, the highest one here. And then I could have taken, that and just taken those lows out. No muss, no fuss. Beautiful. Stop here and just let it play. All right. So I'm going to also copy that and add it to my notes because it's important to make sure you are well aware of what it is that you are doing. So second entry type. And I've been so scared of taking this type of entry that I literally wait for a second leg to try and get in, and I miss tons of entries. Also, all right, so back to back testing. Let's head back to back testing. All right. So let's clear this up and let's head to another day. Let's remove that. Let's go back to another day. Reset. And this is so therapeutic for me. It just, I don't know, it helps me feel less like I don't know what the heck it is that I'm doing. All right, so go back here. Let's reset that. Again, first things first, like I don't usually take anything before 9:45. So I'm coming in around this point. This is 9:30. So I would come in and my first thoughts are, where are my equal lows? So here's one. Even better, we've got a fair value gap inside of there. So let's set our sell side liquidity right there to reach in. And then let's also note the fact, and it's something I need to do. Let's also note the fact that there is a fair value gap here for them to dig into. So if I wanted to try for a little bit more, I could. Anyway, and then let's see, 8:30. So they've already taken the highs out. So I'm not really looking unless there's something equal there. They've already taken the highs out. So I really have any real good places for the upside. So let's drop down to the 1 minute. Right? And let's head back over to when I would have been looking at this. So something that really, really messes with me is when we get to when I start off, it's 9:40 something. Was at 9:40 they took the low out that I was thinking about. Took it out. So that obviously confused me. And then we started doing this weird chopping thing. And I just didn't feel like dealing with the insanity of all of this silliness. So this kind of price action now doesn't do anything to help me at all. Now here's a less clean V, right? We came back down, we took, swept liquidity again. We took all of that out. We're back at midnight open. I don't know why being at midnight open scares me so much sometimes when I see it. It'll literally stop me from taking a trade. Literally. Now, my other trade option at this point, like after this push down, this scenario right here is a V, but it's not clean. I would have, once this candle formed, said that, would have been popped in and then rolling in. Honestly, being fast enough to get this particular trade right here seems like a non-starter, given the nature of this candle. Like, I would have wanted it to have closed higher up, and then, potentially I would have more time to get in on that candle. Babies are sleeping. I don't know. But here's the other option. And this happened, I don't know what I was thinking. I was looking at it. I was like, oh, there's my entry. So here's the other entry that I'm always looking for. We had a nice sweep. We shifted up this guy right here. Come here. Right here. Meets all my criterias. My stop is below the low. I mean, why not take it? Because it was after 11 and I don't trust anything, obviously. So we have some equal highs up here, more up here, that I would have been perfectly happy to attempt to get right there. Not quite equal highs, but they're almost. That one's a little lower than that one. I don't know how I feel about that, but whatever. So, I would have been able to get that. And with this particular entry, so this is my other scenario, right? Actually, zoom in even better. Even better. This is also like prime setup for me right here. Prime setup, where at the base of a fair value gap, we've moved up, we've shifted order block, well, propulsion blocks, a little tiny break right there, volume imbalance, whatever. I love putting my entries there. Love it, love it, love it. And then I could have just moved my stop just a little bit above it and just waited to see if we could get that movement. Yep. So let me also it's not super clean, but it is something I would have taken. So I'm going to zoom in real tight to get a screenshot of that so I can update my notes. Okay, so for now, I'm looking like I have my third entry model that I'm going to have to backtest even more is, again, mark structure shift plus up close candle second shift. So second stage entry in that scenario, which is not bad. Grab some. These babies are sleeping, man. Oh my God. Sasha has decided to sleep behind the TV on the remotes. Maddie has chosen to sleep by the door. Yeah, they are just too cute. Oh, the cute belly. Oh, they are like the best babies ever. Literally, they are so sweet. They're the sweetest babies. All right. So another move. So this, of course, works because, and I'll take a different screenshot here, because we shifted above. Actually, we shifted here, right here, down close candles, and then ran up. So let me adjust and copy that and add it to my notes. Change my and add that to my notes. All right, cool. This makes me feel better because I should have done this honestly the whole time. Every weekend I should stop and look back at my trades and figure out what my entry should be. So far I have three entry styles, and something to do with the whole V shape thing that drives me nuts, right? All right, so let's see, what could we have done in the PM for this? So this doesn't, this, again, sweep, this would have, counted for the V shape, but don't have the down close candle at the bottom that I like. There's a green one. If there could be another down close candle here for a continuation back up, but there isn't. So couldn't take that one. And this one, it never comes back to it, so we wouldn't have caught that. So let's see. What could we have done? I would have wanted this high to be taken at minimum for the PM, right? And then a nice shift back down. Yeah. So the thing I've started noticing too, I don't know if you guys have seen this, is when you have a fair value gap formed like that, and something that I need to trust in myself. I need to trust in myself because I saw it, right? And this is where I should have felt comfortable taking the short. And the question is you're probably asking is why, right? So let's bring this down. So now we have equal lows down here. They've got this guy and this guy, equal lows down here. So I should have felt comfortable taking this short to here. Because why? Because we failed to make a higher high, right? We did sweep literally everything. We swept that, that, that. Why did I need that to be swept too? I don't. I shouldn't. So when I see things like this, where we've struggled, dropped cleanly, I would have been looking at this break right here for an entry. But again, whenever the fair value gap is so big, I don't know, is it really big? But it looks big, right? Like from here to here, it's 50. 50 ticks, right? That up a smidge. And the other important piece of this is that we're respecting this place. We haven't even hit the midpoint. So I should feel comfortable as long as my stop is above the midpoint, taking the short, weathering this foolishness, and then hoping against hope that they'll want to take the lows out that got formed at lunchtime. Because that's lunchtime lows, right? Should have been comfortable. Oh, Sasha's gotten up. So something I need to remind myself. So let me, because this is also a continuation, shift, take the trade, and stop playing. So let me make that note as well. So I don't even know how long I'm going to be backtesting because this is like super helpful. So this is like my second entry type for the market structure shift, fair value gap option. So let me just put that in here from my notes. So second entry type for this. All right, so let's go test all this out. All right. Because it looks great in hindsight, right? But I'm like analyzing everything that I was doing and seeing how bad or how much better I could possibly be. All right, so that was an opportunity right there. And they just dropped, right? It's beautiful. It just dropped. And the other thing could have done, there is an order block right here. I could have also taken. Lack of trust, man. I think I put my order here. I never went back. I should have just put it here because it encompasses that. And then I would have gotten, and I would have gotten in on this as well. So secondary options as well. But base of the fair value gap, I do like those. See how they behave. Take it at the base. Let it go. All right. So we have a similar scenario here. A little bit different, but not quite the same, right? So we have a fair value gap here, and this is at 3 something. So this is all 2 o'clock. And if I'm being honest with you, that's like 292 ticks. I'm gonna tell you right now, like once we dropped in this candle, I would have put my stop right there. I don't care. I already got more than I was looking for from this trade. I don't need to be what they call it, dig for a tick or whatever. Yeah, I would have set it there once it dropped, and then voila, I'm in a business. Lock in as much as we can, and maybe even not even go for the lows. Like maybe go for that section. Oh, silly me. Those are equal lows. Haha. Even go for that, and it would have been fine. Oh, done. Done. So what frustrates me the most is the fact that this sort of thing happens to me a lot, you know? All right, so let's go back another day now. Let's clear this up and let's see if we can't do a little bit better with let's backtest these entry models. All right, so that's that crappy day. Let's go back. I'm just going back daily. I don't know what day it is. I'm just going back. So let's go back to the 15 minute. And this time, let's figure out, this is what, Monday? Okay, let's head back to the morning. Okay, let's back up to, is that 10? Let's back up to here. Okay. And see what we could have done better. All right, so again, before all of this, I would have sell side right here and right here. Yep, equal lows, beautiful spot. Would have been nice. All right, let's drop to the 1 minute and see what we can do. Big strong drop. 9:45. So we've taken something out. We're at midnight opening. I don't know what the heck, but we've swept some stuff, so a return back up doesn't seem weird. I would just aim for like maybe this right here, something like that. So let's see what we got. All right, so we got that. All right. So all I need to see now is an up close candle to try my next entry model, which is here. So now I put that there. Get that. And then let's see if we can't get back up to there. I don't know. I'll be trailing with the stop. All right, let's see if we come back down to tap it. Nope. All right, so they just ran. All right. Let me move this over just make sure you guys can see. And they just kept running. All right, so now I need to see. We've got 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I want to see if they stay inside of this, and something I should have paid closer attention to. All right. So I've missed all of this. They've left that run up. So either they stay inside of this fair value gap or they tap that one and go. My stop is not great for any of this. So let's see. All right. So we tapped into this guy, but not that one. Okay. All right. So got a strong move up. Should I attempt that? No, because this hasn't swept that yet. So this is places where I get caught sometimes, when I do this. This is places where I get caught. So this is good to backtest and make sure that I'm like working through my, weirdness. Anyway, so we tapped that one, winged it. I want to see if this next candle takes this wick out, because something else that I've noticed is when they wick into an area like this and there's no body, just the wick, most likely they're taking out these candles next to it and then they won't take that one out. So a lot of times what I think to myself is, hey, if depending on this next candle, maybe I'll try something like this that would like get me into the trade, but make sure I'm below that wick. But I also don't like it when it's the first wick. So I'm still thinking about them tapping into here and then leaving. So let's see. Aha! So they tapped that one, okay, and then wick back up. That looks good. So as we work on entry models here, like my idea now is, do they want to come? I want to see how they treat this fair value gap. Like they can enter it, stay below it, leave a little bit of it open, and then maybe push back up. So let's say I am looking at taking an entry here. And that's a nice strong candle. Let's say I buy right there, since we're exactly at that point. And my stop is right here. So let's see what happens next. Okay. All right. Come on, let's see what you do. All right. Okay, so that's something that I need to definitely work on. So far, let's move that over. We're respecting the top of that fair value gap, and then we move up. Okay, so I keep getting burned by these types of entries because I miss this opportunity. So if they give me 1, 2 hits, then I'll see if they come back, tap it one more time, and then run. Because at this point, I'm not expecting them to come back down. So I would literally, so this is good testing. I would just move my stop like right above here and then take my hands off the wheel. because it's been such a strong move up. Well, technically, I should wait until they take this high out and then put my stop there. So let me stop doing that. But at 400 up, I wouldn't want them to come back down, honestly. Okay, so now I feel much better with that. Let's move my stop there. And wait to see if we want to move up. Oof, that's ugly. Whoa. Yeah, so once I took that, I just moved my stop to just below break even and see if they want to take this high out. I mean, it doesn't need to, midpoint of that. Honestly, at this, I'm probably locking in like more, Let's go there. All right. They're at 925. Lock in a little bit more. Oof, we've hit over 1,000. Popped up that way. Let's see if they want to take the high out. So I'm literally gonna like stand below this fair value gap because actually a little bit lower. And let's see. Because if they just tap into it here, like so, and then move up, then I'll do that. And then voila, I am out. Beautiful. Oh, hey, Maddie has come to join. Hi, baby girl. You just jumped up into my arms. You're so pretty. Hi. You gonna sleep here now? Oh, you're such a little sweetheart. Hi, pretty girl. What you doing? Oh, don't fall down. Are you comfy? Are you comfy? This is my little baby girl. Hi. Gonna make little biscuits? Oh, who's the sweetest little girl? You are, your little pawsies. I don't know if anybody's gonna ever gonna watch this whole thing, but this is Maddie. I know after JoJo I wasn't willing to have another pet, but when we saw these two, we just couldn't leave them. They are absolutely the best decision we've made in a very long time. Okay, looks like she just wants to sleep on me. All right, so back to the business. Yeah, okay, so that worked nicely. So let's document this potential as well. Let's copy that. And let's document this entry type here. So this is a variation on the V. Hey, pretty girl. Hey. This is a variation on the V. Let's see. You can enjoy some of that. So that's a variation on the V entry. And let's call it that. Variation FEG entry on V setups. So now let's see if this will work in other scenarios because I won't just take it blindly at the fair value gap, right? I'm going to wait to see what they do. And sometimes that might mean I miss it and other times it doesn't. I don't know. Aw, hi, baby. So she's gonna like move around and be cute. Oh, and flop down multiple different ways. That's her thing. That's definitely her thing. Anyway, all right. So that's a good. That's good. All right. So let's cancel that. Oh wait, no. Let's go to the 15 minute. All right, and let's clear that out. And actually, yeah, can we back up? Can we go forward? So I would have been done for the day, but let's see what the PM had for us. And we gotta test all these entries out. That's equal lows there too. Okay. And so far, the up, it's easier for me to see it going up. Gotta find one where they're going down and a potential entry. Actually, let's go back to the 1 minute. And okay, so we had a sweep here. That's a shift. Entry here, but the overarching trend is up. So yeah, that's not gonna happen. That's not gonna work. So let's do this. The baby has found her purr and lounge spot. Cute. All right, so let's go back to the daily and let's clean this up. And this is super helpful because let's keep looking for these entries. So let's roll back down to the 15-minute. That's at 10:30. Okay, all right. Let's reset that and let's roll in. Oh goodness. All right, hold up. So there was a continuation trade. So we got this at the fair value gap, ran up. And the other option here is to take it at that. Again, look at the order block. Again, we could have also just, if we hadn't taken it here, look at the way it sets itself up. Stretch. She jumped up and gave me this stretch. Oh, the belly is out. Pretty girl. All right, so the other entry option. So after this, we have the fair value gap that they ran back down into. Let's go back here and do some more analysis. Also, to make me feel a little bit better, they made this guy high, that's lower. Grab that guy and go. Order block. Oh, she's left. Haha. And go. Yeah, same scenario. Perfect. Perfect. It's beautiful. Okay, so this is just before, this is just about 10 o'clock, right? 10:01. I would have loved that. I love some of my best trades happen between 10 and 10:05. Like if I've ever made like a decent amount of money, it's around those times. Should make a note of that. Yeah. Anyway, so after 10 o'clock now, we do have another opportunity right here. This guy, same thing. Take that there, run it up, get back in. So the rest of this doesn't help me at all. So we've swept these highs. So as a continue, and it's a V, so the upside version of this. We swept these highs, drop low, take it at that guy. Wouldn't have gotten in. Well, hold on. We wanted to take a short in the same vein, right? Up and down. That formed. Let's see what my stop would have looked like. Well, my stop could have weathered all of that. So, and given the fact that it's a very big update, like take the trade down to this down close candle. And then voila, we're good to go. Interesting. Interesting thought process. V, little tick there. Yeah. That's 10:24. Oh, 10:30 really, I don't know why. I think I've been scarred by 10:30. Seriously, scarred by 10:30. Anyway, that's another scenario where technically the down close candle is the order block. So once we got that drop, this candle would have tagged me in, and then it would have dropped to that guy. And then the V, let's see. Because in this scenario, this is the order block, but we're here. We don't really like it as much. And I definitely would have been stopped out with that guy. This guy is so long though, so I might have taken it at, yeah, I might have taken it at this guy, but I don't know if this would have stopped me out. Let's take a look at the 30 seconds, see how that candle formed. So I would have waited for this, then waited for, looks like it went down and then it went up. I can't tell in this, I can't tell with the 30 seconds if I would have been stopped out for that or not. Cannot tell. That's interesting. It's an interesting thought. Not clean as we work through our entry models here. Not clean at all. All right, so let's go back to the 1 minute. So for this V, I would have probably preferred the entry at the dark order block once this rolled up in the hopes that they would come back down for an entry, since we've seen that before. And we had a similar situation in the opposite direction. High swept, rolled up in a V, dropped in a V. Yeah, so that's a potential way to get in. So far, we've seen about three different styles of entries now that I can work with and potentially stop missing out on trades. Honestly, it's like driving me nuts to be missing out on trades. So my normal scenarios is 10:30. We dropped, yeah, so I wouldn't have taken any of this just because I need to wait for some sort of proper shift and movement. All right, let's move on to another day. This is good for me, honestly. This is really, really good for me. So let's trash any drawings and let's back up. All right, and let's go down to the 15 minute. And again, let's back up to 9:30, just to have a bit of an unbiased vibe. Okay. All right, let's go back. And so I would have come in and seen this structure down, down, taken all of that. Honestly, I would have probably thought they would want to continue down on a day like this. So we have two areas of sell side liquidity right here. Let's clone that one and then drop this guy. Okay. And then, so very, very obvious buy side right here. Liquidity is sitting right in there. Very, very obvious buy side. So let's take a look at our entries. Okay, let's drop down to the 1 minute. All right, so we are at 9:30 is about to set up. See if we get any of these scenarios to work with. Okay, so we ran up immediately. I would have preferred if they wanted to go up for it to drop first. So let's see. So we're just gonna go, and I don't do anything until 9:45. Okay, so this is looking more promising because they haven't taken the high I was looking for yet. And hopefully they want to take this low out. So what is the London? What time is this? 520, Friday, 3, 2, 453. Okay, so I already took the London highs out already. And the lows at 686 is what I was hoping they would want to take. There's also lows here at 830. I'm not taking into account any news at this point, honestly. So let's see if any of the new entry models that we've sorted out will accumulate or occur on this day. So we're waiting for them to come take some liquidity. They've taken some here, but I'm seeing if they want to come down and take that low. All right, looks like it. I'm gonna try to, okay. So far we've not seen the V option for entries yet. And then, and they haven't swept anything that I thought was like super useful. They swept this and then tapped into this. Interesting. Okay. All right. So now the other potential opportunity might form here. So let's see. Let's see if they form a fair value gap going up. And if they don't take the high out, so they formed one here. And what I would like to know is if they're going to come back down, tap in, stay above the midpoint of it, and then continue. Because there's nothing down here. Tiny, nothing down here. Nothing. Yeah. For them to come back down into. We got this high up here, and let's see what they choose to do. So the third entry up model is if they don't give us an opportunity, how do we get in to the trade when they're running away from us without FOMOing in and just hitting the market buy? And because I hate doing that, it just makes me feel like I'm out of control. I like my limit orders. So let's see if we come back down. And everything is predicated on whether they choose to just tap the top or dig further into the fair value gap. So we'll see. And if they don't do either of those things, I'm just not going to get in because I'm trying my best to be disciplined. So the initial thought is this. All right. So the initial thought for this entry model, let's see how much my stop will get me there. It's not awesome. All right. So this is what I'm thinking to go here. All right. So let's see if they come back down far enough to make that a thing, see if they respect this, and then maybe I can get an entry in there from like the V-shape model. You know, and sometimes they might not even come back down. There is a fair value gap right here. That's the problem, right? Like sometimes I just don't know if I'm seeing the correct or I'm reading the correct fair value gap to get into the entries. So let's continue. Okay, so for this scenario, I think they're just gone now. Yep, just gone. So I wouldn't have gotten an entry. I guess I should have seen if they wanted to stay inside of this guy, which they sort of did. So in this scenario, it was just one fair value gap because sometimes when they have multiples, that's where it gets like more helpful. They're at midnight opening, I'm probably gonna go, come back down for a second and go straight back up again. A little pause there because it's an important area. Now, I should note, this is technically a V, it's not a great V. So I could have also taken the entry here, understanding that take the entry here, we've gone above it. So once this closes, in the hopes that I'll get tagged in here to, honestly, I would have just taken that. That's not a bad play, especially when they look like they were going to roll up. But sometimes I get stuck in my head about, them reversing and dropping further that I just miss out on good trades, honestly. It's literally what happens most of the time. And then I would have just put my stop like right below the midpoint of that. I'm not really even sure. Oh, it's starting to rain, getting cool now. Actually, yeah, just, and then once they moved up, then move the stop to here. And at that point, we're at, and just let it ride. No matter what happens, just let it ride. And 290 is nice. Midnight opening makes sense for them to just run up to it, honestly. I hardly ever see whenever they get close to it that they don't just take it. All right, so in this scenario, it didn't really have an entry, and I wouldn't have been able to get in on that one. All right, cool. So let's see if all right, let's see if the PM gives us anything. Well, okay, so at this point, what time is it? Like it's 10. Okay, let's see if there's any reversals because we've taken this. Let's watch it. All right. At this point, I expect them to take the high out and then maybe we see some sort of shift or something. All right. So they take that out. Given the nature of how it dropped, this is technically a V. It's not a pretty V. This is technically, could technically be a V. Let's see. But they're spending too much time on it. What are you updated, girl? All right, I'm gonna watch see if this rain's gonna cause the kitties any distress. You okay, babies? Oh, crap. I didn't cover stuff downstairs. Hold on. Let me take a pause and go cover the couch. Is there a pause or just stop? You know what? Let's just end it there with the rain, and I'll just continue on afterwards. All right, y'all. Thanks so much for hanging with me. For the folks who came and joined and watched, appreciate you. You guys have a beautiful, beautiful Saturday. I'm going to continue backtesting and burning into my mind all these new entry models because I'm like super excited and looking forward to being able to use them. So have an awesome time and Shakira.